What is going on, everyone in the NBA world? We are MNC Hoops. I'm Michael. This is CJ. We are ready to come live with you. Of course, obviously, we're live and give you some NBA content here with the playoffs in full bloom. A lot of shock for me, anyways. Of course, CJ, I'm sure you're not shocked at all. You knew this was going to happen. But we'll get in there to a little bit. Sorry, it's my fault that we're starting a little bit later. My 2K guy, I'm trying to improve him, and CJ is a wizard when it comes to knowing what to do with that. So I was going through and trying to break down my point guard and seeing if I could improve him because with my squad that we run with, we don't have a point guard. So old dad is trying to step up and figure it out when I ain't played in a long time. But CJ, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing great. It's been a great week. Man, it's been a great week. Great week of basketball for the city. The city is rocking right now. Yeah, it's just a lot of excitement going on right now for basketball with the Knicks. So that just the games boosted my whole weekday.
I get that.
And then some of these other games are good too. Just got home from work not too long ago. Just wind down, talk some hoops, probably get on 2K later as well. So
here we go.
3-day weekend. Right. So yeah, let's get it rocking.
Oh, I don't know what that means. I forgot. Monday is a holiday, I guess.
Oh no, I'm just off now.
Oh, you just
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's it might be. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know what is it? Memorial Day. I never can remember Memorial or Labor. One of those is in the spring, one's in the fall, but one of those is coming up sometime soon. I think. I just don't know when. But of course, I guess I will say this:
Memorial, yeah,
possibly. But I will say this because this Sunday, of course, is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who is a mother. Salute to you. Do miss my mom pretty much every day, but she is a sweet lady who is in heaven, more happy now. But do miss her all the time. But so if you guys out there got your mothers, tell them that you love them because some of us can't. We wish we could. So happy Mother's Day. Of course, my wife is a mother. Wonderful 3 kids, as Micah sent you a video because he opened up a pack and had a Brunson, and instantly, like, it wasn't like, hey, look at this or anything. It's like, hey, CJ would like this card. Can I FaceTime? He wanted to FaceTime you, so I saved you from that. So sent you a video, man. I thought he was going to do like a whole movie as much as he was talking there, but I guess he gets it from me, so it's just what it is. But
yeah, it runs in the family. It runs in the traits. Great traits. Great traits. Right. He did good. He was great breaking down the cards, saying with the colleges and everything. And that's the Brunson at the end. It was best for last.
Of course. That's how he asked me if he could take some of those cards to his school because apparently some of his buddies like cards too. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to get you a 3-ring binder and get you some sleeves there that we can put those in. That way you can actually just take your notebook and let them see it. So it's a hobby that's so much fun to pass down. So it's really cool on this.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so enough of my rambling. Let's get into the second round of the NBA playoffs. Of course, I don't know where you want to start. I'm lying. Obviously, I know where you start, but we'll go ahead.
There's only one place to start.
Exactly.
There's only one place to start, man.
Well, as you see here on the screen, we will be going to the number 2 versus number 3 Boston Celtics against your New York Knicks. And the Knicks are up 2-0. CJ, let's hear it, man.
Just a roller coaster of emotions in both games. Down 20 in each game.
Crazy.
Really looked like down 20 en route to that, the lead that the Celtics got. It was very similar to what we saw in the regular season from the Knicks versus the Celtics. Just their inability to get stops and rebound the ball, create second chance points. And just kind of get deflated after the Celtics keep making so many shots and going to the basket. It seemed like there was nothing that they could do. But in the playoffs, it's different. The games get tight. The defense is a little bit more physical. The referees call the game differently in the postseason. So that favors whichever team is more physical at the end of the day. And I really feel like that's really what it boiled down to ultimately for the Knicks. in these first two games. In game one, OG Anunoby really led that comeback. 29 points in the first game, knocking down big shots in the third quarter. Deuce McBride, we talked about the preview. I say he needed to have a really good series after struggling against the Pistons in round one. Off the bench, we just need some activity to offset what Peyton Pritchard could do. Peyton Pritchard hasn't really been able to get it going in this series yet. Hopefully he never gets it going, but Deuce McBride's been playing well, knocking down shots and timely shots, just not letting the lead destroy their confidence. And when you see guys coming off the bench trying to ignite the comeback as a starter, sitting on the bench for that period of time, that gives you some juice, that gives you some energy. So when you get back on the court, the intensity is still at an all-time high. Mitchell Robinson, wow. I mean, the longest tenured Knick. It's crazy to say. It's even crazy how this team is built. We really don't. Our starting five, no one was drafted by the Knicks in that entire starting five. They're all just been a bunch of guys that have been counted out and ultimately became great players. Some were role players, some were starters, and it's from what we've seen from Mitch, being hurt for the majority of the season, coming back at the right time, coming back at the perfect time, in great shape, was able to get some games underneath him, under his belt before the postseason started. You look at his numbers in these first two games, it's been incredible. His ability to rebound, his ability to step up on the screen and guard Brown, guard Tatum if there's a switch, being extremely confident in his ability, his athleticism, and also knowing who you have behind you. When you have OG and you have Cat and you have Hart, guys that are going to make it tough. And you could pass it off. You could pass Tatum and Brown off to those guys, knowing that the defense intensity is still going to be there, similar to what we saw in game two at the end of the game. Beautiful. I'll break that down shortly. But in game one, it was just a barrage. It was really just a barrage in that fourth quarter. The defense, our ability to get stops, get rebounds. It's just our fight really just representing the city. Just really exemplifying what this city is all about. Not giving up, not laying down just because you're down 20. A lot of teams will just chop it up and be like, let's go to game two. We lost this one. Let's try to regroup and go to game two. That's not how we're built. That's not how our leader in Jalen Brunson is built. He's not built like that. And especially in this time of the season. And the clutch player of the year for a reason. You just know when the game is close, you're going to have a chance as long as 11 has the basketball for the New York Knicks. And I'm not a fan of our offense all the time. I do feel like at times it's too Brunson dependent when it doesn't have to be. I do feel like there's another level this Knicks team could take their game to, because when you're down 20, you got to play perfect basketball to come back. And I would like to see or disciplined basketball, not necessarily perfect, but just doing the right things to help lead a comeback. I want to see the Knicks start the game like that. Being down 20 consecutive games in the playoffs against a team like the Celtics is not a healthy formula to getting wins. So in game three at home in the Garden, I would like to see them start the game better and obviously finish the game just as well as they finished the first two games in Boston. 5-0 on the road for the New York Knicks this postseason. Michael and I were kind of chopping it up and talking about it after game two about how well they've been playing on the road this year. And I just feel like people are counting us out. I mean, a lot of people had us getting swept, gentleman's sweep, just based on what we saw in the regular season. And I just feel this team is just built different, man. Mikal Bridges just struggling throughout the game, but making the right plays at the right time. And that's what you need. You need guys that can make plays at the right time. National champion, been to the finals. They have experience. It's not like these guys are, it's not like a situation like Cade and Jalen Green where they're young. It's their playoff debut. They still have to learn spots and calls and things. It's still growing pains for those young players. That's not really the case for the New York Knicks and the players that we have. Karl-Anthony Towns just came off a Western Conference Finals appearance last year. OG, despite not playing on on the team because he had the appendix surgery with the Raptors. He was still on that 2019 Raptors squad roster. So, he was there with Kawhi and Siakam, Lowry, and Fred VanVleet, Ibaka, Gasol. He saw great players. He saw what it took to win and ultimately become a champion. Same thing with Mikal Bridges being a young player with the Phoenix Suns, making the right plays, then being a 3-and-D guy, and then ultimately becoming the guy in Brooklyn for a couple seasons, and now helping this Knicks team try to get to where we want to get to. It's just been fun. It's been fun, man. So game one had me on the edge of my seat, and the way we finished the game too, just finish. And I think that's really been the key thing for us is just our ability to finish. Just right off that game 6, we've really just been building off game 6 in Detroit, and how we were able to stay calm, stay composed. We know who we have for our leaders. We know who to go to. And as long as we put ourselves in the right spots to succeed and be successful, we're always going to have a chance based on the talent that we have. The talent was never the question. With the Knicks, it was just about the execution. And so far, these first 2 games, the way they've been able to execute in the second half has been incredible. It really has. I mean, I've been really impressed for what I see from this team. Their resolve, their confidence, they're not wavered at all. They're not scared of the Celtics at all. And that's what I love to see. But Mikal Bridges getting that steal on Jaylen Brown at the end of the game, just ripping it from him. Give me that. It's over. It's game over. And then we got game 2. Game 2 was, I think it was 75-55. I was watching it on my phone on the way to the crib. I'm just like, oh man, this is, here we go again. Here we go again. But it was Josh Hart and Deuce McBride leading the way in the second half. Then Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter, 14 points in the fourth quarter after not scoring in the first 3 quarters of the game. So his confidence still at an all-time high. He said at the post-game presser how his teammates was able to, keep him in good spirits throughout the game. And when Brunson and Cat were out to start the fourth quarter, Tibbs called his number and he answered the call. And not just on offense, but also on defense as well. Getting key stops, making plays, getting rebounds, getting to that mid-range spot. And that's really his bread and butter. He's not a great finisher in terms of he's not going to dunk on anybody. He's not going to, catch a poster. But where he's great at is great for the playoffs. That mid-range 13 to 17-foot shot, fading away to try to create any type of separation. He has great size, a solid wingspan to be able to do that. So he stepped up, and then you got Brunson, who's also been struggling. The Celtics have done a great job against Brunson. You see even here in the series. I mean, Brunson's not even leading our team in points per game right now. It just goes to show if he's not shooting well, if he's not having a bad game, even if he's having a bad game, once the fourth quarter comes around, it doesn't matter. It's like a brand new game for him. And being a New Yorker, man, it's just incredible to have a guy like that to rise to the occasion. A closer like Mariano Rivera. We've had great closers in this city for so long with the Yankees. And now to have one at the point guard spot in New York City playing basketball. I mean, when you think about New York basketball, you think about the point guard position. Yeah. We have one of the best in the world. And I feel like that really showed in game 2. Hit a big time shot on Jrue Holiday, off one leg fader on the right side. I don't want to give away his secrets, but he loves that right side of the court. He loves the right side of the court. It's easy for him. So he could drive. Obviously, he could drive to his dominant hand. Mm-hmm. And then also he has an array of moves where you just don't know what he's going to do. You literally don't know what he's going to do when he has the basketball. So ultimately, he has all the power and the advantage, and that's a superstar. That's literally the definition of a superstar, where you don't know what they're going to do when they have the basketball in their hands. You just know it's going to be a great play. And with his usage rate, with all the bodies that are around him at his size, and his ability still not to turn the ball over at a high clip and get wavered by the multiple defenders that the Celtics have. Mm-hmm. He's just a beast, just a dog, man. He's perfect for the city. He's perfect for what we represent. And that shot was crazy. This guy's 6'1", making one-legged faders on Jrue Holiday. You just don't see that often.
No.
His game is very unique to where it's not Ja, where Ja, is above the rim, Derrick Rose, Westbrook, those type of players. He can sauce you up like a Kyrie, but he's just a complete to me, he's a complete point guard. I mean, you just look at everything. Doesn't turn the ball over, high assist rate, great scorer, efficient shooting splits, always efficient shooting splits around 48 to 51% field goal range, always in the 40% 3-point land, 84% at the free throw line. Just one of those, just the one, man. He's just the one. He's the one. Yeah, he's the one. And you look at late in this game, in game 2, it's 89. It's 88-89. Knicks. And Brunson, we get a stop, and Brunson drives on Horford, gets a layup. Like, yo, this guy's crazy. This guy was like, bro, I couldn't believe we came back. I think we're on we finished the game with a 23-6 run in Boston. I mean, incredible defense. The rebounding from Mitch and Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, he hasn't been great in terms of I still would like him to score a little bit more, be more dominant, use his size. But in game 2, what I liked about him, he only took 2 threes, and he still ended up with 21 and 17. That's perfect. That's perfect. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Appreciate that follow on IG, my guy. Russell, that guy, Nick. He's that guy, bro. You already know, man. He's that guy. And Brunson gets a great layup. Tatum comes down the court, splits the double team, gets a dunk. Now it's 90-89. And I was like, man. I mean, it was. I'm glad it was quick. It was quick. They didn't really take a lot of time off the clock on that possession. Able to get the ball back. Brunson gets fouled by Holiday, sinks 2 free throws. And then, I mean, just the possession at the end of the game. Mr. Robinson at first gets beat, but then he has an ability to get his body squared up with Tatum again, force him to the help, try to get him away from the right side, force him left. You got Bridges and Anunoby right there on the left side. Brown sensed the double and tried to fade and lift to the hash because he saw that Tatum was going to go to the corner. And just high IQ from Bridges, just really coming off Brown real quick, knowing that Tatum is more than likely going to take that shot because that he's a superstar. He's the guy. He's a superstar. He's one of the best players in the league. He's the closer. He's the guy for the Celtics. But still positioning his body to where he can make a play on Tatum, but still get back on Brown because it was still a couple seconds left. It's not like it was 3 seconds left when he shot the ball. Tatum first wanted to shoot it and then ultimately passed it once he saw he was double teamed. And Bridges, with his wingspan, made a great play. One of the best defenders in the league. He was, a top 2. He was a runner-up a few years ago for Defensive Player of the Year. Doesn't miss a game. Will play 48 minutes if need be. Just a true Iron Man in this league. All the talk and the discourse around him in terms of the trade and what we had to give up to acquire him. And I just feel like he's been answering the call in his first 2 games in Boston, knocking down big shots, got a steal, got 2 steals to end the game, to ice the game. I mean, you rarely see games end that way on defense. You don't really see it end that way in that type of fashion, especially in the playoffs. Usually we see what we saw with Halliburton, right? Halliburton misses the free throw, gets it back, and then does a tween step back 3 on Ty Jerome. That's usually what we usually see, those type of things to end games. But for the Knicks to close both games with defensive stops, it's incredible. And then also, even at the end, after Bridges threw the ball up, high IQ from Brunson to go get the ball, not let the ball go out of bounds to give the Celtics any type of time left on the clock because they would have been able to advance it because the ball went past half court when Bridges threw it up. Gets the ball, short as 0 time left, triple zeros, red lights on the scoreboard, man, red lights on the backboard. I was shocked. I was looking at my phone for like 10 minutes. I just couldn't believe and just how we were able to close that game, man. It's been probably two of the best games I've watched in a long time. And that's not even just even. Of course, I'm a fan, but even if you're not a fan, just watching the games, the stakes. This is a 2 versus a 3 seed. So, but even though it's a 2 versus a 3 seed, but everybody expected us to get swept.
Right.
So it's still that underdog type of mentality there. Just phenomenal from the Knicks, their resolve, their resiliency, and their ability to come back. And then for the Celtics, that's what it's their identity. They live and die by the 3. Now they have guys that have counters to that. Porzingis is the counter to that because he's 7'3" and he could also shoot the 3, but also post up because he's so tall. But unfortunately, he's been out with an illness, so he hasn't been able to play as much. They said he's not on the injury report for Game 3, and he played a little bit in Game 2, but just felt like they're saying it's fatigue, and he's just been tired. So, prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets healthy. I want him out there healthy. I want us to beat the Celtics fully, man. So there's no excuses. And but this is what they do. This is what they do. They shoot the ball. They shoot the ball at a high clip. They took 63s in Game 1. They went 15 of 60. Most misses by a team from 3 in NBA history, playoff history, 45 bricks. And even in Game 2, I think they went 10 of 40 or something like that. Or it wasn't great. I think they shot around 25% or something like that from the 3-point land in Game 2. So they get these leads and then they try to, blow us out by 40 and 50 by continuing to shoot threes and get away from what got them the lead in the first place, which was going to the basket. When they're able to get to the basket, it's tough to stop us because Karl-Anthony Towns is not a great rim protector.
Right.
And OG can't protect the rim because he's guarding the perimeter. So, it's so paramount and it's so key to have Mitchell Robinson out there in the minutes that he's out there because he brings a different dynamic to our front court and to our lineup. And when you have Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson out there, from your, that's as good as it's going to get defensively from your 3 to 5 spot. And then you add Josh Hart, and listen, I mean Brunson is 6'1", but he's not a cone. He's not a cone. I mean Brown was trying to post him up and trying to use his size, and Brunson's showing his hands, bodying up. It's been incredible. It's been incredible to watch. This series has been great. I just think that the Knicks need to play much better basketball to start. They need to play a more complete game. These 20-point deficits are not healthy, and there's still a lot that they could do. It's still another level they could take it to as a team. But I've been very impressed in how they've been able to finish games.
Obviously, that I was shocked. I know you said this a few times that you were shocked because I messaged you 11 o'clock at night or something. I was like, wait, what? They're up to nothing? Definitely didn't think this. Plus being on the road, which, we have discussed that. I'm not trying to piggyback of what you've already said here. But, yeah, so for the Knicks to be up to going home is really huge. But I will say, great games. Everything you said, what the Knicks are doing here. Or what I'm really happy about, we talked about this, that Karl-Anthony Towns does have to have at least a double-double in rebounds. We did say 20-some points, but he's averaging 15 boards a game. So I'm proud of that. That's really one of the things that's, eliminating those long rebounds to kick out for another 3. But with that being said, you already alluded to some of the three-point shooting percentage or shots that they missed in the game, but they're shooting 25%, and that's the average between the two games, 25% from 3, 35% from the field goal. So, the Celtics aren't hitting right now, and that is a bit scary because, you're right. They live and die by it, and they're dying by it right now. But if they catch fire, the Celtics are the Celtics that we really know. So, and it could be that, the defense is just kind of being there for them. We know Tom Thibodeau's a huge defensive guy, mindset on that. But I cracked up because I looked at this. So, the average blocks per game's the leaders. It has the stat lines where it says everybody's who's leading what. So Mikal Bridges is leading for the Knicks with 1 block per game. So for the Celtics with 2 blocks per game, is Derek White. And I just thought that's kind of comedy there that their guard there is leading in blocks. But, of course, he's a defensive guy. So, I think Karl-Anthony Towns, as long as he's still getting those rebounds, eliminating the second chances, I think he's averaging like 11 off or defensive rebounds of his 15. So that's huge on that. But Jalen Brunson, man, there's nothing I can say that you didn't already say. He's the short man for sure. Like, a 6'1" guard that's still doing everything that he can like that. It's fun to watch, especially when you watch a left-handed person do it too. So, what they play tomorrow at 3:30? Of course, in
tomorrow, it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rocking in the Garden. I'm gonna be locked in. So Brunson is just putting himself in that category with Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, Allen Iverson. One of the best small guards ever. Just heart over height, and that's really, it's cliche, but when you're in a league full of giants and you're dominating the way that he's dominating, there's really no other way to describe it.
I will say, I'm not correcting you, but Jalen Brunson is leading you guys in points. He's averaging 23 per game. Of course, 23. It's got Towns up here with that 17, but he is leading, actually. I went and looked that up just to make sure because I thought 17 was kind of low to be leading, but it's just because of those 15 rebounds of being the best player right now for him. But let's go ahead and look into this. I know we don't want to jinx or make any kind of bold predictions here, but is there a chance that this could end up in a sweep since the next two games are in New York?
It's too soon to say a sweep. I think, Game 3 will tell us a lot. The Knicks are 1-2 at home in the Garden so far in the postseason. So it's not a situation where you have a lot of confidence, and even in the regular season, they weren't as great as they should have been in the world's most famous arena, especially with the type of home advantage that we have. I feel like our home advantage is up there with anybody, any team in sports. So, but it's different now. It's a different series. The vibe is different. How these last two games have been played. Everybody in their mom is going to be at the game. Not me. It's out of my pay grade. I'm sorry. I'm watching on HD on the TV.
I got you.
I can't. Dolan is. I'm sorry, brother. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day.
Well, then let me. Obviously, predicting a sweep would be huge for anyone right now. Even still, of course, with the two games. But it is going that way. But let me ask you this, as real as you can. Who is still the favorite to win this?
Who is still the favorite to win this? The Knicks. The Knicks are favorite to win right now. They're up 2-0. They got games 3 and 4 at home. I believe we're gonna win game 3. Okay. And I know the Celtics, they're gonna come out guns blazing, ready to rock. Now I guess they would probably feel like the underdog now that they're down 0-2. They're getting all the criticism that the Knicks got, maybe about 10 days ago before we saw these games, before the basketball went up in this series. And so now that the narrative is different now, it's changed. So, Mazzulla could coach his team differently now. He could he could hold them accountable a little bit more based on the film that they have in the first two games. So I expect Brown, Tatum, everybody on the team to definitely have high energy to start the game. That's why I feel like the first 6-7 minutes of this game, it won't. Of course, based on what we see, it won't really dictate and show. That's how it's going to be throughout. Mm-hmm. But I just want to see how the Knicks play, man. Are they going to be complacent and just be like, hey, listen, we got the home court advantage and be chill, lackadaisical, or are they going to continue to, be aggressive, man? Be aggressive. Go out there, play well. And I feel like someone, a coach like Tom Thibodeau, I do critique Tibbs. He's not a perfect coach, but I feel like in these type scenarios, it's perfect because he's always showing the team and always showing his guys where can they improve. And there's a lot of improvement that this Knicks team could do. Like these are not perfect wins, but we're winning in the right way at the right time. But there's still a lot of bad film in these first two games that we've seen from the Knicks. So I know Tibbs 100% is showing them all of that. And of course, the good stuff too, but boxing out rebounding. The Celtics are still up in the rebounding numbers, something that I thought that we would have the advantage in.
Mm-hmm.
But I want us to continue to crash the glass, get offensive rebounds. Josh Hart in game 2 was incredible. He was incredible in game 2 because you're going to put Al Horford on. If Al Horford is going to play, you can't outplay Al Horford. If he's going to be out there playing 30-plus minutes and guarding Josh Hart, and Josh Hart is not making the impact in the game, that's a W for the Celtics. So he's being active. He's going to be the screen man. Why? Because he's not a great 3-point shooter. And if Brunson is driving and you have Hart on the weak side, on the strong side, of course Horford is going to help. This is going to help because the percentages show that Hart is not going to knock down that shot at an efficient clip. Game 2 showed us otherwise. Knocked down 2 big threes in the first half. Really got his confidence going. Now he's setting the screen. He's setting screens, and he has great rapport with Brunson. So he knows where he's going to be at.
Mm-hmm.
When Horford, it was I think it was somewhere in the fourth quarter, around the fourth quarter, we were starting to get the lead before Brunson hit that shot to give us the lead, our first lead of the game. It was on the right side. They trapped Brunson on the right side, and Hart set the skill. I think it was Holiday and Horford. They tried to trap Jalen. Hart just slipped the screen, got the ball, went up. He missed. The first time they did it, he missed. First time he did it, he actually made it with the floater. And then the second time he missed, and then Cat got the offensive rebound and won. So that's what I mean. It's like even though you're not scoring in that moment, even though you missed that shot, you're being aggressive, right? And since you're being aggressive, now the players on the Celtics are out of whack, and that gives an opportunity for someone like Cat to get the rebound, go back up and one when he's going to make that free throw, 85% free throw shooter. So and Hart is just high IQ, man. High IQ, just a winner, and his ability to get downhill as well. The start breaks as soon as we get the stop. He gets the ball. We know he's going right downhill. It's a little left to right and he does that little left to right crossover.
Mm-hmm.
He bodies up and he finishes. It works. He's quick. He's strong. It's not an easy cover. So I just want him to continue to stay active. If he's active around, he's in the dunker spot. Cat had a great wraparound pass to Hart in game 2. Cat was posting up, going to the line, posting up in the post, going to the paint. Cornet and Horford, they double. Cat waits, does a wraparound Cornet for a pass to Hart. Hart gets an easy layup. So just staying active, like not just standing at the 3-point line, being around and just trying to make plays. So everybody has contributed in these first 2 games, and we're going to need even more from everyone in game 3. Campaign hasn't really got it going. I want to see Campaign, really get it going in game 3. Like as I said earlier, Deuce McBride has knocked down timely shots, got big stops in the first 2 games. So this might be one of the most watched playoff games in a while. I'm pretty sure numbers wise, when we look at the end, I'm pretty sure it'll probably do well in terms of viewership because it's a lot of stake. It's a lot of stakes. So already a lot of stories and narratives swirling around the Celtics if this thing gets out of whack. But ultimately, man, I'm just excited, man. The city is rocking, and New York basketball is back. It's something that I haven't really seen. Last time the Knicks went to the Eastern Conference Finals was in 2000. I was 5. So
I was in 8th grade.
So it's been a long time since we've seen this type of success from this Knicks squad. So incredibly grateful.
Goodness, you're a young pup. Well, let's go ahead and jump over to another city that we know are probably just as ecstatic for this series. The Thurian, of course, and it's against the number 1 seed. And surprisingly here, too, that Cleveland is down 0-2. Let me back up. I don't want to say that way because that's disrespectful. The Pacers at the 4 seed are up 2-0 over the number 1 in the East, Cleveland Cavaliers. This is probably the series I haven't been able to watch too much on, but it's just been whoever scores in the hundreds first almost pretty much wins on this. Of course, what we see here, the Pacers 121, and then the second game 120 when the Celtics 112 and 119. So, I mean, there's no defense being played here, as you can see on that. What's your thoughts on these two guys? Of course, Donovan Mitchell, averaging 36 points with 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Again, why he should be in the MVP conversation, but, that's okay. That's for another day.
It's really similar to the Knicks in terms of just everyone counting them out. I think most people had Cavs Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. So it's that us against the world mentality. And for a team like the Pacers, where it's really been that way since last year, I picked the Bucks to win the series both times.
Yep,
both times, and I was wrong both years, and I was wrong. And they've done a phenomenal job. Halliburton, I just think the team is really just motivated around him, just based on that, the poll that came out with him allegedly being the most overrated player in the league, which is insane. Which is insane. You just look at when he got traded to the Kings. There was a lot of expectations. At first, you're going to be the guy, be the point guard for the Pacers, getting rid of someone like Sabonis, who really played well, getting double machine, was the better player at the time. No one really knew what we were going to get. And since he's been the guy in Indiana, they've had nothing but success. One of the best point guards in the league, one of the best playmakers, pure point guards in the league. That's his calling card. He's a pass-first guy. So players are automatically going to gravitate towards him because they know that he's going to give them the basketball. And I just think from there, he's a leader. Yeah, he talks a little bit of trash, but I think that's good. That's good for the league. You need guys with personality. Everybody just can't be super robotic, Kawhi. It's just, super cliche answers every single post-game presser. You need personalities in this league. That's what brings eyes to your product. So it's battle tested. They battle tested to go into Cleveland, hostile territory, one of the best teams all year. You get a dub. Garland was out in that first game with the toe. And then in game 2, Garland, Mobley, and Hunter were out. But the Cavs were up 20. They were up 20 in game 2. So it wasn't like they were getting blasted despite missing their guys. So it goes to show how much depth that Cleveland has. And of course, when you're playing at home, the road guys play a little bit better. But their inability to close. Halliburton started coming back. Nembhard knocked down some big shots. Mathurin made some big plays in that second game. Aaron Nesmith got a crazy dunk on Donovan Mitchell. Crazy. Some dogs, and I've really been impressed with Miles Turner. Really been impressed with his game. They're struggling right now. I think they're down 114-96. They're doing a replay. I could give you guys the exact score here shortly, but he's been playing great, and that was something where I just didn't know. We just don't know what type of Miles Turner we're going to get. And there's times where he looks like a top 8 center in the league, and then there's other times where he just kind of fades and stands at the 3-point line, not as incredibly active as he should be, only getting 7 rebounds, and you're 6'11", it's just stuff like that. But he's been very active in the first 2 games. I gotta look at the numbers here. I missed most of this game because I just got home and it was kind of like a couple minutes after the third. But 117-96 Cavs. Cavs are up, looking to cut that series lead 1-2 for Cleveland. But yeah, in the first 2 games, man, it was all Indiana. It was all Indiana. They just wanted it more, plain and simple. They just wanted it more than Cleveland. Halliburton misses the shot, gets the rebound, goes back, and sauces up Ty Jerome, hits a big 3, game winner. Game winner, man. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. He's battle tested out of Iowa State. So it's not like he was highly recruited. Everybody thought he was going to be the next guy up. And then he gets traded early in his career. And then also just says, what does that say about the Kings? But it says we already know about the Kings, right? One of the most dysfunctional franchises in my lifetime, I'd say. You had one of the most dynamic backcourts, maybe ever. We won't know now, but you had it right there in your building, in your organization. You saw it every single day and said, you know what? we're not only going to trade one of these guys, we're going to trade both. It's such a weird thing. I mean, they turn it around a little bit now based on some of these hires that the Kings have got, but the last couple seasons have been very confusing. But nonetheless, the Pacers got a superstar out of it, and I think this is going to be a back and forth series. Cleveland, they're going to have to win Game 4 on the road. It's something that I expect them to do, and they should be able to do. They've been one of the best teams in the league, as I said earlier. So winning on the road should be something that they need to accomplish if they want to even this series up. Go back to Cleveland 2-2. That's the ideal scenario, but they're going to have to, really play well in Game 4. Indiana's going to be ready to rock and be ready to respond based on this loss that they got tonight. But so far as these playoffs has been really exciting. I mean, extremely close. Both, all the road teams were getting victories in game 1 to start the series. Close games, down to the wire. You're at the edge of your seat. Final 4 in the East, really living up to the hype, man. It really is. 1 through 4. We got 1 through 4 right now, and whereas everybody thought seeds 3 and 4 were on a lower tier than seeds 1 and 2, we see that around this season, it's different, man. It's just different. So I've been impressed with what I've seen from Indiana, but I do expect Cleveland to come back and try to even this series. I think this series goes 7. I do believe it goes 7, man.
I definitely think there's a possibility of going 7. I'm trying to get that game on to watch the rest of it with us as we're live, like you're talking about. I think Cleveland being shorthanded hurt a lot. I'm not taking away anything from the Pacers because, Pacers, the one thing that's been great for the Pacers this whole postseason is they are playing to their true identity. The big pace up and down, trying to shoot as many threes as you can to get going, and they're hitting right now. I looked at it a second ago and I forgot what it was, but I think they're shooting like 40% from 3. Let's see here. I'm sorry. They're shooting 52% from the field goal as a whole, but 46.9. So you might as well say 47% from 3, and that's huge. I don't care who you're playing. If you're making almost 50% of your threes, you're going to beat whoever you're playing. So, the Pacers definitely hot. I do think that Cleveland will be kind of changing up their defense on what they're kind of to assess with this. Maybe challenge more of the threes and let them put them on the floor because you've got some big guys down low. Of course, Jared Allen is a shot blocker, Mobley as well. So I think having them guys back will be help change that over. I do think this could be a 7 series, but I want to give the edge to Cleveland on this, even though they're down 2-0. Looks like they may hold on to win tonight. I just feel like losing some players, seeing that you can play with them with the depth that you were talking about earlier, now that everyone's back, I think that's going to push them over. I don't know why I fall into this like everyone else, but nobody buys into trusting the Pacers, and I don't get it. All they have ever done is basically win. Last year they come up to the finals in the mid-season tournament, whatever. We were all shocked then, and so now playing like they are now, put out the Bucks, who everyone thought was going to win that series. And now they're up 2-0 over the 1 seed in the East. So maybe we need to start respecting the Pacers a little bit more. I'm guilty of it, and Miles Turner, I think this is definitely him. Playing up to his potential here where everyone thought that he could play. So it's a good series. I do think 7. Who are you picking in Game 7? I'm going to go still with the Cavs. I just think the bench and the star power that they have will show up.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I do believe the Cavs could still be able to get it done, but yeah, if this series, even last year, I think last year a lot of people saw Indiana's run casuals saw it as a run, as a fluke, because a lot of guys got hurt. But guys are going to get hurt, especially during this time of the year. This is game 90, 92. It's like, so it's injuries are bound to happen when you're playing, almost 100 games in a span of a few months. So. But yeah, this year, if they're able to if they're able to beat the Cavs and upset the Cavs, I mean, I don't. There's nothing you could say. There's nothing you could say because it's not like it's not the same Cavs team you saw last year. It's a completely different Cavs team. They're much better. We expected them to go farther than the second round. So if they're able to pack the Cavs up in dominating fashion, I mean, what can you if you're just a hater, you're a hater. I mean, it's really just you're always going to be a hater, right? But if you're a fan of the game and you're seeing how they play, despite what the expectations from the outside may have been, and they're still going out there and getting the dub, you got to give them that respect. And that's what we've seen so far, man. They played well. And it starts with Halliburton. And, they don't have Halliburton is not super flashy, flashy passes, but not, it's not Kidd. It's not Derrick Rose, Westbrook. He doesn't have those type of highlight plays. So it's a different type of dominance, but it's still effective and it still works for him. It still works with his team. And then everybody else on the team, it's not a lot of guys that maybe a casual fan may not know. They may not know a Nembhard or even Siakam, even though Siakam's been around for a Mathurin, TJ McConnell. So when you're on the big stage and there's only been a couple teams left in the season and you see these guys make plays and being impactful and making winning plays, it changes how you see things, especially from the people that are only watching the games periodically. So again, Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in the world, I still feel like he doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, he was the head coach of that team that upset the Heat in 2010. He was the guy making the plays. He did a great job on Bron. It's everything. It's everything. And then the fan base, they deserve that too. They deserve it too. I mean, just like the Knicks and Pacers for a few years. I mean, I know they had Paul George for a couple seasons there where they brought some life. He brought some life to that city, but it's been, middle of the road, not great. Middle of the road, not great. Especially for a team like the Pacers. That's that's where basketball started. So it's great to see this. They have a winning team. They have a competitive team, and I'm exactly like I said. I'm just excited that these games have been entertaining to watch, and they're not blowouts. Right, we're seeing real elite playoff basketball.
Looks like Mitchell is done for this game. There's 3 minutes left. They just went to the bench on my end. Obviously, I'm a little bit later. He's got 43 points tonight. So 123, 100 with 3 minutes left on my TV.
Yes.
So it looks like it's going to be a 2-1 series here, unless something crazy happens. So let's go on over to the West, where we have an interesting series. The West is tied 1-1 on both of them. But let's go ahead and start with the 6 versus 7. Of course, that's Timberwolves and the Warriors. I've about said Pacers for some reason. And, of course, just real quick, 99-88 the first game in the Warriors' favor, and then the second game was 117-93 for the Wolves. Of course, the both guys leading players so far on what the NBA.com is telling us is Anthony Edwards is averaging 21 points a game, 11 rebounds, which is huge for him, 3 assists. Then you got Jimmy Butler with 18.5, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. So now, what exactly happened with Edwards as far as the injury?
Well, first, Steph got hurt with the hamstring.
Right. You're right.
One. Yeah.
Right.
And that, that was a huge loss for Golden State. His first hamstring injury of his career, crazy. A guy that the type of movement that he does on a nightly basis for the last decade, for him to never have a hamstring injury until now, it just is true testament to his strength and conditioning. So in a tough loss right now for Steph. They're saying the likelihood of him coming back would be game 6, if that situation presents itself. But they had such an insurmountable lead in game 1. All they had to do was just stay the course, not play sloppy basketball, and they were able to get the victory. And ultimately, they were able to do that last night. T-Wolves had to respond. They had to respond. That's exactly what they did. Julius Randle, again, eliminating the negative narratives in terms of him being a playoff performer. And I just, looking back, it wasn't fair. I mean, it's not fair. This is why that was what his, even when he was with the Knicks, he had 2 playoff appearances, two playoff appearances. He struggled. He definitely struggled. But then when you add context to it, was coming off the ankle. Was coming off that ankle injury when the year we had Brunson, the year against the Hawks. It wasn't a good team. Look back, look at that team. We had Alfred Payton starting as a starting point guard for the Knicks in the playoff game. It's just no disrespect to dude, but I mean, it's just what are you going to do if you're not winning with that type of lineup? So when we get Brunson, he was coming off the ankle, tried to come back. But now he's healthy, ready to go on a new team, new environment, and he's been playing excellent, man. Just really comfortable. It really feels like he's at home now. He's found a new home in Minnesota. And man got hurt in this game with the ankle, came back, still played solid, played well. The other guys for Minnesota stepped up at home, and that's what they're going to need. They're going to need them not only at home, but they're going to need it in Golden State also, because we know what the supporting cast in Golden State are going to do when they're at home. So just this game 3 is it's going to be must see TV, just because I think everybody is expecting a big time Jimmy Butler type game. I think I was expecting him to go out here last night and have a playoff Jimmy performance and go up 2-0 back into Golden State. And now you're having different conversations, but Minnesota's a great team and they didn't let that happen. So far I haven't really seen one of these, top tier playoff performances from Jimmy Butler yet as a Warrior. And this is why they brought him over. This is why they brought him in. There are going to be times where Steph's having a bad game or Steph might miss a game, and you need someone else to step up, rise to the occasion, and be the guy. At times, pretty much since Golden State acquired him and gave him the contract extension, he's accepted the Robin role, which obviously in Golden State, that's what he's going to be. But in moments like this, he needs to go back to what you saw, what we all, as watching the Heat, right? And what we all saw in these last 5 years when he was with the Miami Heat. The Warriors need one, or honestly, I'd say they probably need 2 games. They need 2 games of playoff Jimmy, because Anthony Edwards not going anywhere. Randall's hitting his stride. This Timberwolves team, this is not just your regular 6 seed, right? I mean, they're great. They have size. They have length. They're a dangerous squad, so they're going to need Jimmy Butler to be to score more. He's going to have to score a little bit more, and I think when he's scoring more, it opens up more opportunities for everybody else. So the Golden State, they're going to have to lean on him to, be that number one option. Mm-hmm. And then
I'm sorry. I think this first game here is going to be the first one back in Minnesota in a playoff game. I think this is going to be that game that we do get to see him have that Jimmy Butler playoff. Of course, there's the bad blood there in Minnesota. We know how that is. He don't even refer to that team anymore. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the fans are going to boo, and I think it's just going to feed him to have that Himothy game here.
Game 3 and 4 is in Golden State.
I'm so sorry. I went backwards on.
So they were already booed. They already booed.
They already were.
I
am so sorry. I was completely
they have
wrong.
Not. Minnesota has not forgotten.
Of course.
They have not forgotten at all. But also wanted to talk about Draymond Green a little bit. So he got a tech in this game, and I think he's like 2 techs away from getting suspended. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday, and then after the game, he says he's tired of the narratives of people calling him an angry black man, which It's so. And then you have Michael Wilbon, guys on ESPN. They're defending that. I'm just confused on what exactly are they defending, because you put this on yourself. I mean, you created this narrative of being a angry black man. Now, when you think about angry black man, that phrase has a lot of history with it, but that doesn't apply here. Like that doesn't apply to Draymond Green, because when you're on the court, on the basketball court, and you're putting guys in rear naked chokes and doing spinning back fists to NBA players, kicking guys in the nuts, stepping on guys' sternums while they're on the ground, grabbing guys' ankles when they're trying to run after getting a stop. When you're doing things like that, you don't get to put yourself in that type of box where you could play victim. You punched your teammate, and not only did you punch your teammate, they kept you and traded the guy that got punched. So it's like, what are you really crying about? I'm just confused. Like, what are you really crying? And they gave you an extension. Like you punched your teammate, they kept you, they traded the guy that you punched, and they gave you money. Name me another profession where that ever happens. Usually in a profession, if there's a fight in a job, both people get fired. It's clipped. You're done. You're out of here. We don't want to hear any post-game stories from either side. Whether you lost or you won, you're both unemployed.
Yep.
Here in the NBA, you're so talented and you're so great as a player, to where they have a tolerance level for you, and they've accepted what the things that you do that don't really relate to basketball. Like, so because he's a great player. He is a great player. It's only but a rare few players I've seen impact winning without scoring the way he has. It's a Rodman. That's why people start comparing him to Rodman and things like that, because his impact without scoring is terrible. We've seen the last 10 years. It's been phenomenal. But on the flip side, we see the extracurricular activities to where it's like you're looking for some type of defense from who? I mean, not from me. You're not gonna get it from me, because it's just a lot of hypocrisy. It's a lot of hypocrisy from the media too. You look at now that the Warriors are contending, right? The how they speak on Draymond is a little bit different than last year when they weren't contending, and everybody was saying, "Is he going to be out the league?" And I mean, he cost the Warriors a playoff spot last year. I feel like if he plays I think he got suspended for a total of 20 games or something like that. I know he got the 15 for the Gobert, and I'm blanking on. I think he got suspended for more games than that. But those games he missed where he wasn't out there, they could have won a few of those games. We don't know, and they didn't even make the play-in. They missed the playoffs entirely, and a lot of that had to do with what he did on the court or on the practice court. So listen, man, you're angry black man. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what that means, bro. You just need to calm down. Like, how about that? Just calm down. Everybody knows how important you are to the team. You're letting your team down when you're getting unnecessary texts. That was different if somebody goes at your teammate, hits your teammate, shoves your teammate. You step in there like, yo, wow, chill out. Like, we're not about to do that. Relax. That's different than you get in a scuffle with another teammate, and then you automatically go to a guy and just put him in a rear naked choke, and you're dragging him a couple 10 steps. Like, what? It's just it's unnecessary. I'm like, you're not getting any type of defense from me. I know the media, again, like I said, Michael Wilbon, he went on Get Up, and it was cringy to me. It was cringy. He was saying like he can relate to that because, and he tried to tie in like an historical factor because of that phrase. And I feel like there's a lot of people that have been labeled that, and have only been labeled that because what they've done in terms of, and it's not even because they're necessarily angry. It's just that they've been put in that label so people will look at them a certain way, so they won't get any type of traction because they might be doing something good or might be doing something that's against the powers that be. Right? That's different than this. Like, this is not this. This guy is not a victim by any means. So, he wants to get emotional at the end of the game and talk about, you guys want to label me and this is like that. You labeled yourself. No, you have a whole compilation of you doing MMA moves on an NBA court. Like who? Like we're supposed to feel bad for you? Absolutely not. Not for me.
I mean, I don't even know what I could really say on this. I mean, you're a guy who always gets technicals, you know? I mean, let's be honest. They also goes far back where he could have really cost the Warriors a ring back in the 2016, 17, or wherever those years were. I'm horrible with that, but because of what went on with that. As far as the name calling on, to be honest, where I live, man, like that stuff is not really, I mean, there's always some things, but like when you said angry black man was kind of like a phrase or anything, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, we're here in the mountains where everybody gets along. And if you don't, you know, you have your words and it's over with. But as far as craziness, man, that's why I love the Appalachia area, man. Like, we don't have so much of stereotypes that goes on a lot, you know. It's got to be this way or it's that way or this is going on. It's just, hey, you know what? If you take care of your family, you're good, you know. So I don't get into all those stuff. Like, you know, of course, it just, to me, adds another layer of what's going on that doesn't have to be what's going on. Like, Draymond, I'm sorry. You have a temper issue. You can't control your anger, and that's where you mess up and do some of these things. Just own that. Don't make it to more whatever it is even trying to be. If it weren't who you're being, there wouldn't be a book of how many technicals you've got or what you've done and so many different things. That's all it is. So, I mean, again, that's just getting a bit crazy. And the Get Up, I'm actually going to go back and watch that since you say it was kind of cringe because I like him. I kind of want to see what exactly was going on and said there because how can you defend what Draymond Green has done? Yeah, I think he's probably a cool guy outside of the court, you know, whatever. I like some of the stuff that he talks about, his commentating in the games and going on. Very smart when it comes to X's and O's or what's going on. But the temper, when you cross that sideline, I guess you just kind of lose your mind sometimes of what's going on and do stupid things.
Yeah, when you're playing in the games, a lot of the adrenaline is high, and of course, our emotions are running high. But there's a time and place for everything, and as you said, a lot of people have come out and have said, you know, great things about Draymond. I don't know his character. I'm only going of what we've seen. So
that's all we see, really.
You know, so when we see things like that, on the court that you're doing, you're getting suspended for it. You got Joe Dumars going on ESPN and stuff like this. Guys call it, I don't know what's wrong with this dude. And then once the game is ended, you act like you don't know what happened. Like, you just act like, oh, like I don't know, like how can they say these things? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? How can we say those things? Like, do you not see what you just did? So, just like it's weird. It's just weird.
Ja Morant, what he's had to go through, you know, because of, you know, having the gun and whatever, all that stuff. And then, of course, this year making the gun gesture after making it. Yes, celebration. There we go. To me, that was more worse than saying, oh, well, he's just this way because that's what it is. That was straight up a celebration. That's a new thing. Like, that is going above and beyond trying to label what was going on to me. Draymond Green is just always getting technicals, and that's the only thing we do know him of, you know? I mean, I've never been able to say, hey, Draymond, like, let's go get a pizza and just kind of chit-chat and, you know, get to know each other. All I know is Draymond on NBC or ABC or ESPN or what I see. And that's all I got to judge him by. You know, of course, don't want to judge too much because we don't know him really. But, hey, if you keep getting fouls, that coach told me once, if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. No, I mean, exactly. All I can say is, Draymond, control your temper and help your team win.
Yeah, they need him. I mean, in the first game, he had like 18 points, knocked down 4 threes. I'm like, yo, where's this every night? It's like you can't. There's times too where I'm just like, you can't get 15 points. As talented as he is, he 1,000,000% could get 15 points in a game. So when you see games where he's only having like 7, 5, and 6, it's like how? You should be getting a double-double easily, yeah, no question. And they're gonna need that. They're gonna need him to score more, especially with Steph out. I'm sure he knows that. And since he's one of the leaders on the team, he has to score. The young guys on the squad, they have to see him get it going because that brings the type of energy to everybody else on the team. When you're getting texts and flagrants that's not the type of message that the young guys on the bench that are about to come in. That's not a good message that you're sending you. So he has, he's definitely one of the leaders on the team. And I just feel like getting texts and getting flagrants and to the point where you're out the game or you're out of whack because your emotions are high, you're arguing with referees. It doesn't help you, especially now with Steph being out. Now that Steph is out, everybody's looking at you now because you're the second most important player on the team. So all eyes are going to be on you now and how you navigate things and how you go about things. He does have a beef with European front court players. I mean, that's kind of the trend. Adam, Australia's not in Europe, but just non-American big guys. He does have a gripe with them. He wants to, I guess it's a test, a little bit of, a macho ego thing. Like, you're not about to just come here and baby me. I don't care where you're from, which competitively is fine. But when you take it to the level that he's taking it to with some of these guys, I just feel like it's unnecessary. So this brother needs to lock in for game 3 and really help Golden State get a 2-1 lead and have so Steph doesn't have to rush back.
Yes.
And try to re-aggravate that injury. That's the key. That's what needs to happen for Golden State. They need Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, Spencer, Quentin Post, Pods, everyone has to really be on alert. The defense needs to be there as well, has to be there, because we've seen Minnesota, they don't care. They could go on the road and get a dub. They've done it already. They did it against the Lakers. They eliminated the Lakers in LA. So it's not some foreign thing to them to go on the road and get a dub. And when you have someone like Anthony Edwards who literally doesn't care about the names or who he's going up against, we're getting a dub, we're attacking you, and that's it. And then when you have someone like Randall as your running mate who's gonna ride for you and as a bully, he plays bully ball. When he plays efficient bully ball, it's really not a lot of people that could stop him. And when it's efficient bully ball, 47% from the field, 35 from 3 clip, 77% from the free throw. When you get that type of Randall, minimize the turnovers, because he's a really good player, man. He's a really good player. He's had the way from his start of his career to now, incredible. From breaking his leg, being 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. He's a problem out there when he's fully locked in. So when you have that duo with everything else with DiVincenzo and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, leader in Conley, Gobert in the middle, altering shots and getting stopped, they're tough. They're tough to defeat. So Golden State, they need to be on their P's and Q's, because this could easily go down 1-2. I think you're muted, brother. Still muted. All good. You want to try to come back? Because I can't hear you. All right, let's get into Oklahoma City, Denver Nuggets. 1-1 right now, game 3. It's 24-18 Thunder. First game in Denver in this series. Man, game 1 was a movie. Game 1 was a movie, man. Went down to the wire. Denver came back. Westbrook, Chet Holmgren missed 2 free throws. Christian Brown gets the rebound, gives it to Russell Westbrook on the right side. Russell Westbrook drives the middle, which is what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to always go to the middle of the court, because when you go to the middle of the court, it opens up everything else on the court, and it creates easier lanes for yourself and for your teammates, and easier reads for yourself. Aaron Gordon, who's already having a really good game, a double-double, knocks down a big 3 to ice it. When they were down 1, big shot from Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon, I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. When he came out of Arizona, if you would have told me this was a player that we're going to get, I mean, I didn't know we were going to get, especially the first couple of years in Orlando, where they had that squad when it was him, Oladipo, Vucevic, Fournier. It was just a bunch of solid players, but no real star. And then Frank Vogel was coaching, and they dispersed that kind of unit and went elsewhere. And he ultimately ends up going to the Nuggets. It's been a match made in heaven, man, because with his size and his ability and what he's able to do, his leaping ability, being in the dunker spot, but then also him improving as an outside shooter and a free throw shooter. When he came out of Arizona, he was not a good free throw shooter. That was one of the issues with him. He was not a good floor spacer. So he worked on his game. He improved every single season to now what we're seeing now. He's a problem. He's a problem, and he'll dunk on you, and he'll dunk on you. And since he's been playing so well on the court, we forget about the incredible dunks. Well, we don't forget about it, but it's just an addition to what we saw him do early in his career in the dunk contest and all those spectacular dunks that he did earlier in his career. So incredible basketball player, high IQ, being at the right spots. His rapport with Jokic, some of the best I've ever seen at the 4 or 5 spot. It's up there. It's up there for sure. And then Westbrook. I mean, what can you say, guys? Like, what are you guys gonna say? Listen, he is who he is. Like, he's not a perfect player, but if he sees that you believe in him and you trust him, he's gonna give you everything. And I think the Nuggets understand that. And when you have Jokic publicly coming out and talking about his impact and his importance to the team and how, in a Hall of Fame career that he's had, when you get a vote of confidence from the best player in the league, and in regards to Russell Westbrook, I mean, he's going to do everything for you in terms of defense, knocking down shots, shot 41% from 3 in that first round against the Clippers. I mean, he's a legend. He's a legend. Like I said, he's not perfect. You're going to have some moments where you're scratching your head like, what is this guy doing? But on that play to Gordon for the 3, it's high IQ. Like I said, drive in middle, kick it out. Chet doesn't know what to do now. Like, Chet was trying to decide, like, do I try to make the contest on Westbrook, or do I come out and try to contest this 3? Too slow. By that time, the ball is already out, and Gordon iced it. So, listen, Westbrook is a beast, bro. Westbrook is a beast. Put some respect on his name. He's rising to the occasion in the playoffs as a 5th option. Something like he's like a 5th option on the Nuggets, getting 15, 16 points. It just another guy, high IQ, and that's really what the Nuggets have really surrounded Jokic with, is a bunch of high IQ players. You have to, because if not, you're not going to play. You're not going to play with Jokic. It's going to get exposed quick if you don't have the type of intelligence that Jokic has, because he's already going to give you the rock. He's already going to put you in the right spots, in the right positions to succeed on the court. So if you're not there with him, you're going to get left. And when you bring in a star, someone that's been the guy before, but now has the humility to understand this is not my team, but I'm still going to be able to impact winning, it's just a match made in heaven for real. For Westbrook, I think it's been a perfect spot. Hopefully, this is his last stop. He's been on a few teams post OKC. I think it's been 4 or 5 teams: Houston, DC, Lakers, Clippers. Yeah, it's been 5 teams. So hopefully this is the last stop for Westbrook. I think it's a perfect fit in Denver. But then in game 2, see, they blasted these dudes. I mean, from the jump, and they showed how great they are, and really put the foot on the gas early, got it out the way, and made the game completely undeniable for them to get that dub. So their depth: Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, Hartenstein, Chet, Caruso, Luke Dort. And then, of course, they're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're going to be tough to stop. I had this series going 7. I know Josh was talking about, OKC in 5. I mean, he's a Thunder fan, so of course. But this is I also see this series going 7, man. I don't see any 5-game series at all. These teams are too good, too talented. What's your thoughts on these two this series so far, bro?
I'm so intrigued by this series. Of course, I don't know how much you said. I apologize. But, of course, right now OKC is up 26-18 on my screen. Every time Denver makes a run, Jamal hit a couple threes back-to-back there and was bringing it close. But then OKC just turns it back on. I don't know what happened there. But, man, it's of course, we got the two MVP candidates going head-to-head here. But we got one guard and one center who plays like a guard. And, it's just phenomenal to see that's the matchup, the storyline there. Of course, you already touched on Westbrook a little bit. That's when I came back and was hearing that. Like, Westbrook has found his home, man. I mean, this has to be where he stays. So would love for Westbrook to get a ring. Maybe not this year, but next year, because I'm all in on OKC right now. But, like, the future is now for OKC. Let's be honest. The number one seed all year long, basically, in the West. And they still have draft picks to grow in the next, 2 years here. So, Caruso, I think, was a great addition that they put as far as defense for what they needed. Chet coming in, having a full season where he can actually play here. Cason Wallace coming off the bench, of course, a Kentucky guy that's playing very well in the minutes that he's in right now. Man, OKC, I feel like, has the bigger depth. We've talked about this last week. Michael Porter Jr., to me, is the main X factor if he doesn't get complacent by just shooting the threes, which he's hit a couple. He's just a catch, and I want to fire it no matter what. I would love to see him drive a little bit more with the size and the way he can jump, man. It's going to be hard to contest with him. So if you got Jokic out or setting the pick, whatever kicks out to you, if you got two dribbles in and you got Aaron Gordon on that dunker spot for a lob, man, like, that's a great momentum changer there just by dribbling. Like, you don't even have to do anything fancy. Catch it and just go. Because, usually there's a pick going on that has some rotations going on when you get it anyways. Basically, I wish Michael Porter Jr. played a little like Westbrook with his slashing. I think that would open up a lot more. Granted, he's a great shooter, but I also feel like his defense got to step up too as far as who is he going to be guarding on that team that helps out Dort, who he's been on a couple plays here that I'm seeing. But I really feel like Michael Porter Jr. is my big X factor in who wins this. But I think 6 or 7 games for sure. I could easily see it going whoever's home wins, basically. But, of course, OKC would have to steal one in Denver here between these next two. But, yeah, Westbrook shooting a 3 for me right here. And, of course, he missed. But Westbrook, man, I really feel like he's comfortable here and ready to win. So it'd be great to see him excel in that. Who do you have winning?
OKC in 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I went with OKC. I'm pretty sure I went with OKC.
So, I went with OKC as well. I think I went in 6. So OKC in 6, I think.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. So
we'll see. Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., I agree. It's just because of his physical traits, you would expect him to go out there. There's no excuse why he can't get 18 in a given night, 18 plus. One of the best shooters in the league, easily, man, easily. Doesn't get to the line enough, and that's really what it is too. Like when you're just standing at the 3-point line the whole game, and you're not doing other things to get into a rhythm, it's just not healthy basketball. It's not healthy basketball. Everybody's not Steph. Even and this is so casuals. They just think that Steph just runs around and just shoots a bunch of threes, which I mean, yes, but also he gets to the basket a lot. He's also an underrated finisher,
especially for his size.
Yeah, definitely. The way the layups, the crafty layups, his ability to get to the basket, get to the free throw line. That when he's doing that completely opens up the 3-ball, which you can't stop. So I want to see Michael Porter Jr. get to the line a little bit more, be a little bit more physical, get a double, like go get 10 rebounds, get a couple offensive rebounds, put it back up, dunk on somebody, like really, get the bench standing up for you because they haven't seen you do that in a while. Like just make some plays that really ignites this team. And then I think also they're gonna since you talked about the depth of Oklahoma City, they're gonna need guys like Michael Porter Jr. playing with that second unit to be a primary scorer in there and make things happen while they're going up against, a really solid, a really great second unit in Oklahoma City Thunder. So he's always been the X factor. I mean, every time we talk about the Nuggets, we always talk about Michael Porter Jr. because of the talent.
Yes.
It's just we don't see it to the level as like maybe some people are accustomed to. And there were some talks about him potentially being moved, and after Malone got fired, there was some narratives around him. But ultimately, man, when that basketball goes up, man, you can change it. You can change it all. You can change it all. So interested to see how he plays in this game. We're one quarter down. I got to look at the box score and see how much he has right now. But I'm expecting him to have a big game in one of these home games for Denver. I mean, it's just like they gave you the extension when you were still dealing with the back injury, and it was still a lot of flags in terms of like what how your career was going to go out because of the injury. So just hoop. Just hoop. You're 6'10". You can't give me 8 rebounds at 6'10".
Yeah. Especially because Jokic does play out too, I mean, not a lot.
When Rui came out and said, we need guys that can get rebounds, I'm like, brother, you're 6'8", bro. And if you don't go box out, listen, man. If you don't go box out, you can't. When I see Josh Hart at 6'4", snagging rebounds, getting 4, 5, 6 offensive rebounds, and then you got dudes talk about we need guys that can go get rebounds, and you're 5, 6 inches taller than what I'm seeing number 3 do on a nightly basis for the Knicks. No excuses, no excuses. So MPJ, man, just be a dog, bro. Be a dog. You want to be a champion again? You already know what it takes. And he kind of struggled in that series, really. I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't great. A lot of people were criticizing his inability to be a playmaker. And he was just like, I'm a shooter. That's my job, which is cool. And obviously they have the best playmaker on the planet. So, he doesn't need to be Chris Paul, but you should be more of an all-around threat, especially at this stage of his career. I mean, we're in year 7. So, you're just expecting a little bit more from MPJ as opposed to just being a 6'10" stretch. Mm-hmm. And Denver, they're going to need that. They're going to need Jamal Murray to continue to be the playoff riser that we've seen in years past, because this OKC team is dangerous. They put up 149 like that in a regulation game. This is when they get it going, it's not too many teams we've seen in the last few years that could be able to stop them. And again, they're one of those teams where they don't have a lot of marquee guys. They don't have a lot of guys that have 3-4 million followers on Instagram and stuff like that. Maybe Chet and SGA, probably only 2 outside popular guys on the team. But
Caruso, because he played for LA, but not because of OKC.
Yes, Caruso, exactly. So, but man, between those lines, man, they're a problem. They're a problem. And if you're not locked in on both ends of the court, you get a 43-point blowout like we saw in game 2. So anywhere, Denver, OKC, doesn't matter. So this is a big game for Denver tonight. Who you got in this game? Second quarter, 28-22 OKC. Who you got?
I'll be honest with you. What little bit I could watch, I had to close it out because I think it was also freezing up my computer here. Jamal Murray was hitting some really tough shots. Beautiful stroke, too, as it was going in. But he's having to work really hard to get those open shots and make some really contested shots. I think for a 4-quarter game right now, if that's what it's going to take for him, for them to win, is him making a bunch of those buckets, I'm going to give the advantage to OKC, because that's going to be tough to continue to do that for 4 quarters. Yes, you're a professional. I understand it. But, man, playing defense and trying to keep up with that and have legs by the 4th quarter, and we already said, Michael Porter Jr. is not going to move. But so I'm going to give the edge to OKC just because of their tenacious defense that they have is going to cause the ruckus going on.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with 7. So clearly, for me, it's going to be a back and forth series. I think Denver gets it done tonight. Michael Porter Jr. is at 8 points right now, 3 for 3 from the field. In the second quarter, it's perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Couple more buckets, we're at 15. Right, and then from there we could who knows, you could pop off, hit a couple threes. Now we're at 20 something. So I think Denver gets it. Yeah,
he's got to shoot some free throws, like you said. Like get some easy ones. Maybe drive just a tad bit. Oh, you found me on that. I'm not hurting my bag, but now let me just get a breather and shoot some free throws.
Exactly. Slow the game down a little bit. Just slow it down for everybody, man. So far, so good. Right now, they got the lineup they got Gordon at the 5 in this lineup. This is interesting. They got Holmgren OKC has Holmgren at the 5, and Adelman is responding to that lineup with Gordon at the center spot, MPJ at the 4, Peyton Watson, Westbrook, and Jamal Murray. So, I mean that's a pretty damn good second unit lineup, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, if they're rebounding and they can switch on everything, especially 1 through 3. And OKC has Wallace, Caruso, I think that's Wiggins, Chet, and it's zoomed in, so I think it's another guard out there. But it's back and forth. It's going to be back and forth. I believe Denver gets the victory tonight. And Jalen Williams out there.
Williams, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it's 1 minute before 11. I think we're already done with our show for this week, don't you?
Yeah, guys. Listen, I see 105 in the stream, man. We're really grateful for you guys, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys can be doing anything on Friday night. You know, a lot of people be doing anything on Friday night. So the fact you guys are tuning in, you know, watching on my profile and then watching our show, probably watching the game as well, man. We just appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. If you happen to go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for the next time we go live on there as well, man. Thank you so much, man.
We're at 130 subscribers right now on YouTube. We're on our road. I got it playing here. On the road to 200 subscribers for our YouTube channel. So please go follow that, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, guys. We do appreciate that. But before we get off of here, CJ, where can everyone find you? Of course, we know on 2K in just a second, of course, but, you know, where can we find you at?
You can find me on X at cjames9_ on IG, cj.james9. Gaming channel, CJ versus the World on YouTube. Hit that subscribe. I wrote the 200 subs on there too. A lot of 2K content. College football coming out soon. Madden 2. We thought GTA would come out this year, but you know they pushed it back again to next year. So you know how that goes. You know who knows when that game's gonna come out. Allegedly May 2026. So we'll see. But yeah, find me on there. CJ versus the World on YouTube, on IG. CJ versus the World 9. Like I said, man, 105 on a Friday night is it's just gratitude. Thank you.
You can find me MD Lawson 00 on pretty much all social media platforms. I do have a second show, Cats Chat, where it's everything Kentucky basketball, football, just the college level, on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I guess I got to say that because some of you guys may be out Western Coast right now. But yeah, man, just follow us on all that. And, of course, you know, the Road to 200, I stole that from CJ with his CJ versus World. That was not my original. That was his. So, but guys and gals, of course, we do appreciate all the subscribes and follows and just being here with us for the comments as well. It keeps us able to talk about some of the things. But until we see you all next week, guys, stay tuned in the NBA and have a good one.
See you guys soon, man. Have a good weekend. Take care, guys.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.